This limited edition heavy haulage model from WSI is in the colours of Sluis, a Dutch company. As usual, it comes in the same WSI branded box style, which we've seen so many times before. But this model is a little bit unusual because there's a little brochure tucked in underneath the tray. It's good to see that the model is factory sealed, and after cutting the tape we can take a look and see what's inside. There's a big Scania 8x2 flatbed truck, and also a 2-axle trailer. There's an optional fly jib for the big Palfinger, and some bags of small parts. It is always good to see instructions provided with a model, and this one includes a little book to go with the Palfinger loader crane. It's good quality, and by the use of photos it covers pretty much everything you need to know. For the initial assembly we'll just join up the truck and trailer, and that's just a matter of inserting the drawbar into the clip type towing hitch. It works reasonably well. We will start underneath looking at the Scania chassis, and it's an unusual 8x2 configuration, and as usual for WSI it's highly detailed. A particularly good aspect of this model though is the Scania cab and the Sluis decoration. It looks really attractive. The wheels stand out with their red centres, and the graphics on the cab are very sharp. At the back the flatbed deck has realistic looking plastic timber inserts. The big Palfinger loader crane also has lots of tiny graphics which add to the look. And the boom is finely modelled, with each section having a fin wall profile. Moving to the trailer, and it continues the high standard with plenty of detail underneath. And it also has a composite deck with inlaid replica timbers. A nice touch on the trailer is the detailed drawbar with its tiny springs. So we venture out onto the Cranes Etc. test track, and the Scania's a little bit of a reluctant roller. And it seems to be an issue related to axle number 3. This truck does have unusual linked steering, and it joins up axles 1, 2 and 4. But a consequence of that is that it's all very stiff and the range of movement is very small. Let's take another look at axle 3, and it seems to be a bit loose in its mounting, so it fouls when it just rolls along. And that's why on the review model at least it's not such a smooth ride. One feature that does work fine though is the tilting cab. And the good news is that it stays tilted, and there's a detailed engine to be seen underneath. Whilst we're talking trucking rather than cranes, let's have a look at the little trailer. And it rolls along just fine. The steering angle is very good, and it takes up a good sharp angle. And if we give the old trailer the back flip, we see that there is working suspension, and in fact that applies on both axles. Also nice is the spring-loaded drawbar. But wait, we're not done yet, because the trailer is also extendable. It opens up nicely, and there's even a coiled hose from front to back. Also supplied are small parts to facilitate the adding of WSI containers. But we don't have any of those handy, so we'll just add straight on some different metal containers. These are a good fit on both the truck and the trailer, and so it makes a different way of displaying the model. There's also another display option available, and that's provided by using the metal deck posts that are supplied. There's a bag each for both the truck and the trailer, so there are many different ways that you can display the deck posts. The fit of the posts is pretty good, so they mostly stand up quite straight. And now we can add a different load, and this time it's 2 tower crane sections. And again that makes for an interesting display pose. Anyway, enough trucking around, let's have a look at the big Palfinger loader crane. The crane outriggers are folded up for transport, and you pull them out. They're 2-stage outriggers, and then you rotate them and you can lower the pads by unscrewing. The rear outriggers also pull out, and they're 2-stage as well. The front outriggers already have the pads mounted, but you need to add circular ones to the rear outriggers. Also supplied with the model are some small square spreader plates. If you want, for extra stability, you can pin the front outrigger legs in the down position. Now that we're all set up nice and stable, we can begin to unfold the big Palfinger loader crane. At first use the rams are quite stiff, so it does take some effort to unfold the crane. As we unfold it, we can also begin to rotate it into position. And then it looks like we've created something out of the Alien film. So here it is, in position to lift something off of the deck. But to place a load at some distance, we need to telescope out the many sections. That's easy to do, but as you can see, the main ram can't hold it in position. So to help with that, this model does have some small pins supplied, and they can be inserted into the cylinder jackets to help keep a pose. The other possibility you have on this model is to fit the optional fly jib, and to do that you need giant finger cranes to detach the last section from the main boom, and then insert the complete fly jib. Once it's in position, all that remains is to connect up the piston, and then the job's done. The fly jib is good because you can adjust the angle independently, and it's got a number of telescoping sections. All this means that if you want, you can pose quite a big model. But if you want to know how big, we need to get out the measuring tape, and it gets to about 20 inches or 50 centimetres. This is another very good heavy haulage model from WSI, and it certainly looks very good in Van der Sluis colours. The big Palfinger loader crane also makes for an impressive looking model. In summary, the detailing is very good, and most of the features work reasonably well. In terms of how it looks, it's an outstanding model.